All right, welcome everybody to our latest Live Motocross podcast as we talk all things Washougal, Pro Motocross with the great man Jeff Beaver from Whiskey Throttle Media. Obviously, firstly, thank you to everyone for listening and supporting the website and these podcasts. It's greatly appreciated. We'd also like to thank our sponsors in Fly Racing, Firepower, Dirt Store, and Fuchs Silkaleen for all their incredible support, as without them, none of this would be possible. All right, for this episode, back again, Whiskey Throttle Editor-at-Large Jeff Beaver, who's been in Washougal, filming, crushing it with the content and the crew there, mate. Live shows down at Portland Raceway as well, mate. You and Whiskey Throttle crew have been absolutely pinned, haven't you, mate?
Dude, it was a busy weekend, brother. We were busier than one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, I'll tell you that. But it was absolutely fun. Washougal, before I got into the industry, working in the industry, Washougal was always my birthday present to myself. So Friday was my birthday, and it was cool, man. Everybody's like, "Happy birthday!" Ants from Club MX. This tells you how good. I always talk about how good the people are at Club. Their truck driver Ants. He started, I think, this year, but he's just the coolest dude, and he makes the best bacon in the paddock, hands down. Sorry, guys, but it's true. But he comes over to me Friday. I'm talking to my buddies over at Bar X, and I'm like, "What the hell's Ants doing over here?" And he turns around and he hands me a bowl with a piece of red velvet cake and a candle in it at like 8 o'clock in the morning on Friday morning on press day. He's like, "Happy birthday, man," and lights it and runs off. I'm like, "Thanks." So here's my fat ass eating a piece of cake at 8 in the morning, but thanks to the club truck driver. So I text Blair and I go, "Dude, do you know how good of a dude you have working for you as a truck driver? That's just solid, man. That's cool. That made my day, dude. Ping didn't even give me a piece of cake. That son of a bitch."
That's an awesome story, man. They're a great crew, and yeah, I hope you had an awesome birthday, mate. It was certainly a banger of a weekend at Washougal, mate. Just tell us all about it, starting from Portland on the press day, and then we'll touch on the racing. But was that lead up pretty cool as well, wasn't it, mate? Looked like cracking weather as well.
Oh, the weather was absolutely perfect. The last 2 years before at Washougal could kiss my ass. It sucked. It was hot. Last year was hot and humid. I'm like, dude, this is Washougal, and it felt like a race back east or something. I'm like, what's going on here? It was strange. There must have been a monsoon down south or something that was pushing a bunch of humidity up, but it sucked. So this year was great. The racing was badass, dude. Deegan, he came out, killed it in the first moto, and so it's like, probably gonna happen again. But Joe said, "Oh no, Deegan's, that ain't gonna happen." And I kind of wonder if landing on Di Francesco's bike kind of was like, okay, I just need to chill. So I wonder if there's a little bit of that. But at the same time, I don't think Joe was going to be denied, dude. That dude is hauling ass, and he's killing it, dude. Me and Ping talked to him for a while. We did a little interview that I never ended up posting because the internet there absolutely sucks. I don't know what was going on, but we talked for a while about everything that's going on and some things he figured out. But one of the things I said to him was, well, nobody's talking about look how big you're getting, dude. He just I think turned 23. He's starting to fill out, dude. Like he's got some broad shoulders. Like you look at DiFrancesco last year, he was a twig, and now you look at him, he looks like Adonis. He's all ripped and yoked out. And I think Joe's kind of doing the same thing, and he's working with some new dude. I forget who it was, but that man strength he's starting to develop at that age is when you start to get really, really strong. So, there's some of that going on too. So there was some neat stuff in the 250 class. So it was pretty cool. And then Marchbanks, that was badass. You know, uh, I just can't believe how good he's riding and for him to get the on the podium was sick, but at the same time, I was kind of mad at him, dude, because Dylan Schwartz was about to get a third moto
Mm.
podium in that first moto. And I'm like, no, Garrett, not now, not now. Schwartz and Nicoletti could probably sit there and just, you know, throw rocks at Marchbanks all day. Marchbanks, oh, sorry guys, big old goofball, but he seems to be the one who spoils everybody's podium chances, but. yeah, I mean, good on him, but man, oh, I couldn't stop yelling for Schwartz. I'm like, go, go, just wanted him to get that podium. That would have been so sick. Um, yeah, that was badass. Parker Ross got one of the best starts of his life in the second moto. If you guys haven't seen it, you should go check it out. It's pretty rad. The start technique is absolutely dialed. But yeah, it's kind of about. Oh, and then Swole, dude, that
Ooh.
start was so sick. That start was so sick. I was standing on the top of that jump that Hayden landed on DeFrancesco's bike and shot that start going up Horsepower Hill. I had a big long lens with me, and I can't see anything. I'm just locked in, and I just see him throw the dirtiest scrub over that roller. I'm like, holy crap, dude. I'm like, no way, dude. And he was gone. And then I just hear the crowd like 30 seconds later just go, oh, and I could barely hear over the PA, Swole's down. Swole. I'm like, oh, dude. It was crazy. And like I saw the whole thing. I had walked down by that time to the new step up jump, which is sick.
Mm.
And I was standing there when Swole rolled over, and I saw the Alpine Stars guy go, "Hey, you're done, you're done." And the team guy was kind of like, "What?" And he was kind of looked at Swole, and Swole just took off, right? Kind of. I think everybody was confused as hell what was going on, and so he made another lap or so, and then he came back by, and I was just up around the corner, and it was right after the finish line, and I saw Swole let off the gas and look back. He's kind of like, "What the hell?" And then he cut across the grass and back off. I'm like, oh no way, they black flagged him, dude. So I think they said, hey, you were out cold, dude. You're not racing this moto. So unfortunate for him, but at the same time, Alpine Stars and the promoter and everybody, they have to do what's in the rider's best interest and their best interest. So I don't blame him. It just sucked. But otherwise, it was a gnarly weekend in the 250 class.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. We put that little clip up about Schwartz saying how much he was ripping, and he'd been building some really great momentum in qualifying and the races the last few weeks. So for that Bar X Yamaha, they've obviously got a pretty good package for those lads because they're certainly putting it up there. Obviously, you mentioned Timbo, Ross, Schwartz, they're all great riders, aren't they, mate? So pretty cool to see that. And obviously, that Swole situation, he obviously wasn't allowed to race the second moto there, was he, mate? So there's a bit of confusion surrounding that. I'm assuming the team and the promoters will have some words to say on that in the coming week to sort of clarify things, won't they?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it was the right call. I mean, dude was, sawing logs on the middle of the track. I'm glad nobody came around that corner and drilled him. But yeah, it's unfortunate. But it for him to rip a whole shot like that, and I mean, the way the Triumph team is riding the last 3 weeks, and I mean, look at Faulkner, fifth overall.
How good was
That's
that?
sick, dude. Yeah, I mean that was sick as hell. Again, everybody thinks I see everything on the track. I'm the last one to know what the hell's going on, dude. I'm looking through a viewfinder, running my fat ass off, trying to get to the next spot. But man, you can't hear anything, because the bikes are so loud and they're right next to you. But I saw Forkner at the podium. I go, "Did you make the overall podium?" He goes, "Nah, man, I got fifth overall, but they wanted me to come up here." And I'm like, "Shit, take it." And I said, "Good on you, man. I'm glad you're getting your kind of mojo back." And I said, I frankly was kind of getting tired of hearing everybody talk shit. And I was like, "You go get your damn brain drilled on. I'm sure you'd have a
Yeah.
few loose screws in there." He started laughing. He goes, "Yeah, it's starting to come back." And where I could really see it was where he was coming through the whoops, dude. He was ripping through the whoop section the times I was over there and saw him come through. And so, I mean, just everything's just kind of right on, man. It was just a badass weekend, dude. It was cool. Everybody except for Jalik had a ripper weekend.
Yeah, those Triumph dudes, those bike must be getting some really good data and they're showing that it's a quality machine. The starts are good and having dudes like Harrop, Swole, Smith, Faulkner, and even Robertson when he's fit putting in laps on it must be, really getting a combined good amount of knowledge and the team know what they're doing, mate. So they're actually creating a pretty good program there, aren't they, mate? Real force to be reckoned with from pretty much day dot almost, haven't they?
Yeah, and I've never really spent a whole lot of time around those guys. And I actually went and introduced myself to their manager, Scuba, and talked to him for a little while, Scuba Steve. And dude was cool as hell. And something's going on over there. They found a setting, they found something, but it's clicking. And I think next year Triumph's going to be a pain in everybody else's ass. I really do, and good. It's just I can't wait till the sport gets to the point where teams are fighting just to get on the podium. Like, you know, Honda may get on one weekend and then they're not there the next weekend. I mean, that's where we need to get. Kind of like where NASCAR and Formula One are. Is they're the top 20 in the world. They may not get on the podium for weeks or months or a season. It needs to get that dialed in is what I want to see. I want to see them all just gunning for each other.
Yeah, well said, mate. And obviously, I forgot to mention on Shimoda, obviously, you see him race every week, and his mechanic's a great dude too. Ben Griffith, top bloke, and it's good to see the success as well. He really should have had the last three overalls, shouldn't he? Because he won Red Bud, wasn't it? And then if he didn't have the rear brake go out at Spring Creek, he would have won that too. Obviously, awesome to see what Martin did in that second moto for sure. But and then doing what he did again on the weekend, mate. And he just looks like he's hardly tired at all when he gets off, mate. His fitness is obviously elite, and we hear that it is. But yeah, he just looks like he's ready to go again, doesn't he, mate? Fitness must be just incredible on the bloke.
Yeah, I know when Ping was talking to him, he said his VO2 max is just kind of off the chart. He's just like a natural freak of nature when it comes to that stuff. So, yeah, none of them look tired. None of them really even looked tired after the motos this weekend. And I know the weather helped. They probably felt like they were riding in Siberia compared to Florida. So, um, they're like getting chilly, wanting a jacket or something. It was funny. I saw Hammaker's mechanic wearing an ice vest. I'm like, "What the hell's the matter with you?" Or his old mechanic, Jacob Martin. He was on the fence on Force Power Hill wearing an ice vest. I'm like, dude, you live in Florida, bro. Why are you wearing an ice vest on a 75-degree day at Washougal? Never mind. Whatever. I gotta go. I never gave him any shit about it, but yeah, it was a rad weekend, dude. Overall for the 250 class, just amazing, amazing riding.
Absolutely, mate. And what did you think of the track? Obviously, it's one of those ones that's pretty tough in terms of vision and just seeing the ruts and the shadows as well don't help. The roost is absolutely gnarly there as well. It's pretty high speed as well, isn't it, mate? So, how did you see all that? Obviously, Tomac running the scoop. Not that many blokes were doing that, I don't think, mate, but pretty cool to see the track shape up. It looks like an awesome event with the location, but the track can be a bit of a one that bites people, can't it?
Well, when I was down behind the podium, after I think it was the first moto, or no, it was the second moto, Tomac was talking with Jet and talking with his dad. And when he was talking with Jet, he was like, dude, Chase almost killed himself. I think it was Chase coming into rut. You just couldn't see it. There's still some pretty dark spots on that track. And I almost wonder, after the road jump, after you come off the road jump a couple years ago, they cut down a bunch of trees in that area to kind of straighten it out. And I almost wonder if they need to trim a few more pines there and open up just a wee bit more daylight onto that track before somebody weeds themselves. But I mean, that's got to be scary going that damn fast and not being able to see a rut and get caught off guard like that. I mean, um, you look at what happened to Jeremy Hand this weekend, but that was in a bright, well lit, sunny day. I don't know what the hell happened there. And God, the guy who got hit in the crowd. That's one tough
Yeah.
son of a bitch. Hope he got a jersey out of that one.
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff going on for sure, mate. And I guess we'll touch on the 450s now. How was Sexton, mate? So impressive there, the speed. He was dialed on that pretty hard surface, wasn't he? And his whoop speed was epic. Another one you were talking about, Faulkner, before. But yeah, the bike was really planted and connected, really showed his class, Sexton, and pretty impressive only a few weeks back to be doing that. And obviously, he's confirmed that he's in for Team USA, and I believe Tomac and Deegan will be too. So that's a pretty awesome team as well, mate. So just your thoughts on Sexton and Team USA.
Well, I think Sexton won because he wished me a happy birthday, dude. So I think it was just good karma. So the stars, moons and the stars aligned for him on that one. But no, you could just kind of see it on him from the morning on. And even Chuck's son mentioned it when we did our live whiskey throttle show. He goes, "Man, that guy just looked freaking determined." And I just don't think he was going to be denied. And he came back fresh. So it was good to see. And Jet was obviously he was frustrated. I definitely trimmed down the post race videos a little bit and waited to hit record, but he was not exactly stoked on a few things. But I mean, hey, when you've won that much and you lose a race, that probably pisses you off.
Yeah, absolutely. And realistically, if he just stayed behind Chase in that first moto and didn't ask too much when he just sort of cracked the throttle a bit hard out of that corner and lost it. But yeah, he really should have probably won, mate. It's a rare overall loss. Just mentioned he wasn't that comfortable on the track, but still won the second moto. And if he was just a little bit more patient, would have had another overall, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what was going on there this weekend, but he just kind of had a rough weekend. I got that funny ass clip of Hunter tipping over in the switchback, and then Jet wasn't going to be outdone. He had to fall right behind him, and he wasn't going to be denied. But that track is just absolutely tricky, and if you can be the best, it just proved that you can be the best in the world and end up on your head 2 seconds flat just from just a little fraction of a mistake.
Yeah, well said, mate. And obviously, give us your take on Tomac running the scoop tire pretty crazy on that surface. And great to see him back near his best after a pretty rough couple of weeks, mate. So he looked pretty stoked on the podium. The fans love him for sure, and the improvements were there. So he'll go in with a bit of confidence to the break. But also, aside from Tomac, who was the fans' favourite there, mate? They obviously loved Deegan, Tomac. Who would you say had the edge there?
Joe,
Joe.
Joe, Joe. Everybody was on Team Joe. Didn't matter 450, 250 class, but no, they were stoked for Eli. And one of the cool things, John Tomac came back behind the podium when Jet and Eli were talking, and Eli was just all smiles, and he looked up at him. He's pretty good. And John goes, "Yeah, we're in the zip code." He goes, "Yeah, we're in the same zip code." So I know they went to a kind of a different spec this week. They changed it up. They didn't go back to a base spec, but whatever they found, obviously Eli likey. So it was pretty good. Good to see.
Yeah, awesome weekend for sure, mate, for him. And then obviously Prado, mate, another head scratching weekend. I guess what was your take on it? Do you have any insights into, another pretty bizarre weekend there, mate? So just really in that second one after the restart, you can touch on that as well. That was a bit of a drama with that. We're in the midst of a pretty epic four-way battle with the four heavy hitters at the front there. And obviously there was a red flag. But yeah, just another head scratcher of a weekend for Prado going 8-19 for 14th, mate, only picking up 17 points. So I guess he'll go back to the drawing board, and he just really looks unhappy and uncomfortable, doesn't he, mate?
Yeah, I mean that's about all you can say about it. Everybody else is talking about it. Go ask Lewis Phillips, I guess. He got the scoop apparently, but yeah, I don't know. Something ain't gelling, but he'll figure it out. Everybody's chiming in an expert. Hell, I don't know shit. I just film. So, uh, as far as what's going on with him, hell, you got me, dude. I just hope the guy figures it out. And what I'm afraid of is he's going to get frustrated and go, screw this. I'm going to go back to the GPs in a year or two.
Yeah, definitely don't want that. And I think he'd probably regret that because he's got so much skill and so much talent to make it happen for sure, mate. And just any thoughts on the red flag situation, mate, and the restart? I hope everyone's okay from that incident.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the red flag was actually from. I didn't even know about the hand incident until I got home Saturday night or got back to the hotel. But what I do believe caused it was there was a rider down at the end of the whoops, right, laying on the face of the finish line. He was just splattered, and he was down for quite a bit of time, and they ended up red flagging the race. So I think that was actually what the red flag was.
I think it was
And I don't know.
Nordstrom.
Yeah, Nordstrom. He thought he was at Macy's. He was so knocked the hell out. But yeah, he didn't know where he was shopping at. But I honestly think that was the cause of the red flag, and not the deal with the bike flipping into the crowd and back over, because the bike just hand was off the track, and they got that bike out of the way in 2 seconds. But that was a long delay, and I was up in the Vision or the Legacy Custom Canopies, like perch right there on the side of the ski jump and where the wall jump is, and my buddy Devin has that. So I went up there and shot some angles from up there, and I could see down to the end of the whoops where that guy was laying down, and they red flagged it. And once they got that guy off the track, that's when they lifted the red flag and did the restart. So I'm pretty sure that's the actual cause of the red flag. And like I said, I don't know if hand happened at the same time, but I know everybody's been kind of chiming in to say that caused the red flag, but I kind of beg to differ.
Yeah, mate. It looks like it was just a nasty one. Hopefully, everyone's all right from that situation. You hate to see it. And give us your take on RJ, mate. Obviously, we did that clip yesterday. He's been ripping on overall podium. Is coming soon for sure, mate. He's gone 4-6, really holding his own. Obviously, a little spill, cost him some positions. But how good's RJ been, mate? Considering he's still coming back from injury, doing the full time 450 step up. Nate and the Husqvarna crew must be stoked.
What did he end up on his overall?
So he was fifth overall, just 1 point off Hunter.
Yeah, and he was battling pretty good with Hunter. I was pretty good last week with my calls on who was doing what. Him and Hunter were battling, but
And Schwartz
yeah,
too.
yep. I'm like the Tony Robbins of motocross, dude. I'm just like an inspirational guy over here. No, seriously, though, I'm happy for RJ, dude. Just for him to come out and kind of prove everybody wrong. I mean, everybody said, "Oh, RJ's gonna freaking die, dude." Okay, well, I think Ping said it best. He said the 450s, the Ritalin to his ADHD. Man, RJ thought that was pretty damn funny, dude. He was laughing his ass off at that one, but it really calmed him down. I think it ironed out a bunch of shit that he needed to do, and which was really really cool.
Yeah, it's been great. And obviously, Justin Cooper in sixth. Justin Barsha, mate, another guy you had some good words on. And Jack Richards, his mechanic, was stoked on that little clip as well, mate. Cool to see. So he's gone 7-7 for seventh. Obviously, got fifth the weekend before that. So he's on a good bit of form too, isn't he, Bam Bam?
Oh yeah. Bam's happy. He was riding good. I got some good clips of him. I can't wait to post something up. I just haven't had the time. I've been so friggin' busy. But yeah, it's great to see Bam Bam outdoors having fun. I think outdoor Bam Bam is something a lot of people haven't seen him having a good time in a while, and it's good when Bam Bam is having a good time outdoors.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And Gio getting eighth overall. He's just been a revelation this season, the Swiss rider. And Colt Nichols getting ninth. That's really good for him. He's had a bit of an up and down season, mate. So getting in the top 10 and a 450 outdoors is no mean feat. And so with Mitchell Harrison. Great for that Partzilla team. He obviously went 10-11 for 10th. That's a really awesome ride. Super talented rider, mate. So good to see some of those guys that are not factory riders getting in that top 10. It's impressive.
Yeah. Those guys are doing really well, and I was looking for my boy Benoit off the start, and I'm like, where the hell's Benoit? And Mookie comes ripping by, and then Benoit comes ripping by, and when I watched the motos, I finally found out what he did, but I guess they tangled up, and Benoit was pinned down, and Mookie just bench pressed the bike off of him so Benoit could carry out. So that was really, really cool to see him do that. It's like the last 2 weekends in a row we've had a rider stop and help another rider. I talked to Marshall Welton at Thursday Night Motocross. I'm like, man, what did you see to make you turn around? He goes, dude, I looked back and he goes, I saw that header laying on his ass. The header pipe was laying on his ass. And he goes, I looked and there was nobody right in that immediate area. And he goes, I should have just hopped off the bike and turned around. He goes, but I just, kind of, I didn't know what to do. And he goes, I just went back and got it off him. I'm like, no, man, it's a good thing you did because every second that thing was laying there was getting worse and worse. I mean, could you imagine having to fly back to Italy with your ass well done? I mean, that had to suck. So we messaged Cairoli, and he was good. He was he posted a video laying back by the pool, nursing his rear end. But it's really good to see that those guys are whether it's a privateer or a factory guy taking the time and caring enough to stop and just say, hey, I got to do the right thing. That was solid.
Yeah, it's great to see, mate. And obviously some words on B-Ray as well. He was battling with Prado in that moto, wasn't he, mate? He's got the Whiskey Throttle collab been going on this season, mate. So a few words on him before we wrap up.
Yeah, B-Ray, man, running with Prado, that was pretty sick on the Whiskey Throttle bike. If you roll with Whiskey Throttle, you're pretty rad, and B-Ray's pretty rad, throwing sick whips all weekend. He threw a fat Mac during press stage. You see that, dude? I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, mate.
yeah, B-Ray. He knew Daddy was standing there with the big lens. He's I got to make my sponsor happy. So B-Ray had the best weekend of the year. He was second at PIR. And hey, if you guys ever come over from Australia and come to Washougal, come for the week. Make sure you get in Tuesday night or something so you can get over the jet lag on Wednesday, and then Thursday go to PIR. It's the raddest non-national race in
the country, hands down. I don't care who you are. We had Jet and Hunter out there over the weekend. All the big stars of the pro motocross come down to watch the racing. You know, a bunch of privateers. Freddie Norton unfortunately got hurt during the Dream race. We had Carson Brown racing a mutant aluminum frame 85 with a 125 in it. He ended up tipping over a couple times, but Carson was out there. It's an absolute blast. It's like a celebrity showdown before the Washougal Nationals. So the whole thing was sick. But yeah, B-Ray crushed it. Harry Kulas got him, won the overall, but B-Ray was a close second, got a few grand in there. He didn't offer to buy me a steak dinner though, that cheap son of a bitch. I gotta have a talk with him, but no, B-Ray was the man this weekend. Super stoked on that kid, love him to death, and God, I'd just love to see him get picked up by a team that he could just train and get a ride and do stuff like that, because he's got such potential, dude. He's got so many loose ends right now, and we're doing what we can for him, but I mean, if you're winning PIR and you're running up there with the big dogs, even though Prado's not having the best season, for B-Ray to be up there scrapping with him is pretty sick, dude. So, kid's got a lot of potential. And if you guys don't know who he is, give him a follow because he's hilarious. Him and his wiener dog rolling around the country and crushing it. But yeah, I got to get heading out, bud. So we're definitely have a little 2-week break here. It'll be nice. And we'll definitely have to do this again after Ironman.
No worries, mate. Sounds good. You're a legend, mate. Look after yourself and we'll stay in touch.
Yes, sir.